Hello, beautifuls. I got more musings. you know, I got more musings. I be thinking things, and I made a YouTube channel to share the things that I be thinking. That was actually what I did. So, I want to talk about patriotism. I want to talk about patriotism, and I want to talk about indoctrination and like how to like get yourself out of it, and to know like what it is. So let's start with patriotism, because I watched that fucking presidential debate, baby, and I was, well, that was something, okay. that was something, and I just want to say, like, so, okay, let me tell you, first of all, no one gives a fuck. That's the first thing. No one gives a fuck. But it's like a level of, it's a whole nother level when it comes to like black people not giving a fuck and then black women not giving a fuck, you know? And when I say no one gives a fuck, like, I mean like the people that you would think give a fuck, like white males don't give a fuck. Or at least millennial white males don't give a fuck. Like nobody gives a fuck about none of this shit. And I think that it's because we've gotten nothing. I'm talking about millennials here. We've gotten nothing out of adulthood. We got nothing out of adulthood. Like we got grown and got nothing. Like we didn't get shit. And when I talk about getting shit, like we didn't get like the standard of what Americanism is supposed to be. Like we were supposed to work hard. Okay, we were supposed to work hard. Work our way up out of the slums if you was born in the slums, but if you was born in like the lower class, like you were supposed to work, go to school, work hard, and like live well. That was the deal. You know what I'm saying? Like that was the deal they told us. And baby, it did not work like that for millennials. Like for millennials across the board, baby, we did not get our part of the American dream. They lied, right? So as a result, we don't give a fuck about nothing. We don't care what's going on at all. Like, I be caring because I do a little, I'd like to say that even like what I do here is like some kind of, activism for black women. Though I'll get to why. Don't call me BWE. It's an insult. Okay, but I'll get to that later. But or I don't meet the qualifications. I like it better like that. But anyhow, we'll get to that. I'm trying to stay focused. Patriotism right now. Okay? So, we didn't get none of the things that they said we was going to get for all the work that we did. Okay? We don't like to go to work. Like, baby, listen. I'm going to be at the same economic bracket from, what is it, like $45,000 to $150,000, baby? It makes no difference if I made the $45,000 or the $150,000. You understand? Like we getting to the point in our lives where we realizing that whether you make the middle class, $50,000 a year, or you make the middle class $150,000 a year, there is no difference in your living situation. That's crazy. It's no difference in your living situation, even when it's $100,000. It's insane. So it's like no perks. It's no perks for us to give a fuck right now. But I think we gotta give a fuck. No, I think we gotta give a fuck, y'all. And I don't really do politics much on this channel. And I guess this could be shared with anybody at this point. Any fucking millennial. Because I think that we need to be giving a fuck. And you think like the presidency is so far up. You know what I'm saying? Like that's so far up. Like who the president is, you think it's the black woman. Like that's really not going to affect us. You know what I'm saying? Like on our everyday lives, our everyday lives is like determined by politics and the city and state level, not necessarily like who the president is. Excuse me, I went into a coughing spell. But anyhow, it's what we think. So we shouldn't, maybe we not really worried about politics on a presidential level. But I be worried, like I be, as a patriot, I be worried. I be worried about how the world is viewing the country. Like, that shit worries me. And I know that it's like anti-black woman to give up, to be a patriot. Like, I know that like black women or the black collective don't really want to be patriots. But black women of a certain caliber are patriotic. Like black women of a certain standard around here are patriotic women. Like black, and I don't mean like that weirdo white male worshiping shit that be going on. I mean like really we give a fuck about how the world is viewing this country. And as I'm watching the presidential debate, y'all, I felt like, oh my gosh, the whole world is seeing this. The whole world is seeing this. Like, I felt like I always feel like hot underneath a rock as a black American woman. But this time I really felt it. I was thinking the whole entire world. Listen, the president of the United States of America, and I learned this from a foreign, man. He had to let me know, like, the president of the United States of America, like, y'all think that it just affects y'all as Americans, but it affects us all, right? So he's like the president of the United States of America. He told me, and this was a, Italian man. He told me, the president of the United States of America is the president of the world. So we all give a fuck. Like, like we all be watching y'all politics because, like, what's going on? So at that moment, I'm thinking the whole world is watching. Is watching. And this is the effects of, this is what the whole world is seeing. This is how the whole world is viewing the country. You got Sleepy Joe, up there. Sleepy Joe up there. If you are a nurse and you work the dementia unit, baby, the signs are there. Okay? Baby, the signs are there. Cognitive ability shot like fuck. And I don't know if his cognitive ability, well, he's clearly a dementia patient. So yeah, his cognitive ability is, shot in general because he's a fucking dementia patient. But even like at some level, when you fucking 70 fucking 5 years old, like, you have to know that you don't have the cognitive skills at 75 or the cognitive ability at 75 that you would have at 40. So even Trump old ass up there, and I'm using old now as a statement of being old, okay? Like, black women want to fight for their lives at fucking 50 and 60 years old about being old. 75, y'all, is old, okay? 75 is old. If you a 75-year-old black woman, sis, that is just, not even sis, mother, that is old, okay? So Trump old ass is up there, and he has an old fucking brain. You know what I'm saying? Like, he has an old brain in general. Like, if his brain is functioning as well as a 75-year-old man brain can function, right? It's still a lot more slower than it used to be at 40. Okay? And so that's happening. And those are our politicians. Like, this is what we got to choose from. In the whole world, you got one dementia patient and one just, if you'd like to say that Trump is, has the brain span of the average 75-year-old man. It's not as sharp as a 40-year-old man's brain, or even 50 or even 60, right? So you got these two old men up talking about golf. And this is the leader of the free world. This is the lead. These two are contending over who's going to be the leader of the free world, and everybody sees it. And as an American woman, I was ashamed. As a black American woman, because listen, black American women are charged with Biden. That's us. You know what I'm saying? As a collective, they said it. That's us. We did that. You know. Stacey Abrams' ass went around. You know what I'm saying? Like swung a whole state. Damn it. To ensure the presidency of Biden. Like that's our work. So as a black woman, I'm just like ashamed. As a patriot, I'm ashamed. As an American in general, I am ashamed. And I work with all fucking foreigners, so I stayed the fuck home, okay? I was like, ain't no way I'm going in. It was the weekend too. It was the weekend, y'all. Don't nobody work on the weekends but the fucking foreigners now. I'm telling you. Listen, in nursing, the only people that say work is foreigners. Americans decided we not going to work on the weekends. Fuck that. Right? So it's the weekend and I'm scheduled to work and I'm just like, no, I'm not going to go. I'm going to relax. It's a video of, what's this girl name from the City Girls? JT. Saying when I'm at home, my titties is hanging, baby. I was at home, titties hanging, was not getting up, okay? Was not going to work. Was not willing to face the world as a representation of an American. As a true patriot. And I just wanted to like speak on black women's patriotism. I mean, it might be something we might want to consider. Y'all, we might want to give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, as black women, y'all, I think we might want to give a fuck. Okay? Especially as my cousin just now had her third child, a goddamn son, over the weekend. Like, how are black women not giving a fuck and we still having babies? Like, that's the part. Like, you know, that's the part that I don't get. Like, we don't think that any of how the America is viewed, how the United States of America is viewed, is going to affect us as black women. Like, baby, somebody got to give a fuck, you know. And when I say nobody gives a fuck, like nobody give a fuck. Like if you are in community right now, well, let me ask. Maybe it's just the people I talk to. Maybe I'm in a let me ask. Are you black women? Are you experiencing people outside of black women or black people who give a fuck about politics, or is it just that nobody gives a fuck? Because when I'm talking to people outside of black women in the black community, like nobody really give a fuck. And the country is sinking in general on a state level. In my state, right? And well, in Baltimore City, everybody corrupt. Y'all already know that. You know, like the whole city of Baltimore is corrupt as fuck. And I think that Maryland made college free. Nobody went. like Maryland, the state of Maryland, with a Republican governor, made community college free. Nobody went. That shit was crazy. No, it's free it's free to Marylanders. Like to all the poor kids in the hood, they could have gone to college for free, $99. They could have went and got an associate's degree for free, $99. And they was like, fuck it, they didn't even go. So like, even on a state level, it's just like a fucking mess. And then like federally, it's a fucking mess, and the whole world is watching. The whole world's watching. I just felt I'm one of those that be like, you know, international zaddies. You know what I'm saying? I just talked to a Frenchman and he was just like, yeah, I watched your debate. That shit was sad. And my response as a black American woman who lives in this country, right? Now this is a man from France, right? You know, like the France, they be revolting. French don't give a fuck, right? So my response, just, you know, I told him, I said, I'm worried. And his response was, I'm worried too. His response to me was, I'm worried too. Yeah, this is something that is worrisome. So the fact that the whole world is seeing it and like we don't give a fuck, but the whole world is worried, like what is happening? And in the United States of America, it's just like, wow. Like, wow, what's happening? So, I know that we don't want to care. Like, I know that we really don't have the time to care. Like, for real. I know, because adulting did not turn out like how it was supposed to. It's to the point now, like, the average millennial, you can either afford a car or a home. Like, you can't afford both. Like, you can't afford a mortgage or rent and a car payment. And that's just a fact across the board for millennials. We're not faring well, And whether you're a black, a rich black woman or not, whether you're a rich black woman, whether you didn't, figure out how to finagle the system as a, scamming black woman. Are you a rich black woman, or are you a black woman that's just like, trying to live within your means? By the way, go watch Alicia Renice video. I mean, ain't shit on YouTube but her. Like, if you're a black woman that's just trying to live within your means, you don't get your hair done, you don't get your nails done, you don't have coffee in the morning time. Like, you just a black woman that's just out here trying to make it. I think that every single black woman should be a little bit more concerned at this point with politics. Just like a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Like, just a little bit, especially if you want to live. Like, if you plan on dying, like, if you my age, and I'm 36, and, the thought is at 36, you might got a little bit more time ahead of you, than you got behind you. Like, so if you plan on living a little while, like, we might want to be concerned. Not to mention if you have children, you might want to be concerned. Like, we might want to show some concern, first of all, and we might want to start, like, making some plans as, like, black women of what collectively, like, and I mean, like, our small, what is it that I want to call us? Like, our small little circles of black women, like, what next? Like, what do we do from here? Because we can see that the country is sinking fast, and how do we survive it? Okay? So that might be something we might want to start thinking about, okay? And then it's too, it's too much shit. It's too much shit going on. As black women, you trying to survive life, right? You trying to survive life and don't get ate up. And then you have to worry about politics. And then you have to worry about what's collectively going on with the black woman collective and our image and how the world is seeing us. It's like too many things going on, and I was ready to just be like, fuck it, I'm checking out. fuck it, I'm just gonna check out. I don't give a fuck, me and my daughter have already decided to, live together, to be together, to live together, to pool our resources, you know what I'm saying, as two black women, and, be able to live the lifestyle that we want to, when it talks about, what we have to do as people to survive, and not even black people, as people to survive, like, we gotta start living together. Like, there's this whole thing about black women, about women, single moms living together. Black women can't do it, don't want to do it. I don't know. It's so much self-hate, but we're going to get into that in a minute. Like, single moms that had just decided to move together. Like, fuck it, we just going to figure this out together. I've been lucky enough that I've, like, created my partner. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I came here on Earth, I was like, you know what? When I was up in my goddess form, I was like, you know what? This is going to be rough. Damn it. Like, this is going to be a rough experience. But it's going to be a little bit easier if you got some help. Like, if you got a partner, and I don't mean, like, love partner, although that is an option, for black women, if you, like, you want a partner in that way. But, like, in general, like, you're going to, like, have to figure out how to get through this together in some kind of way. So I created my partner. You know what I'm saying? And figuring out how to get through these tough economic times, I've actually created my own partner, so that we could live well together. Doing it alone, we've already realized that, it's going to be too much. It's going to be too much. And, she's going to be, coming out the door. This is what I mean about how $50,000 and $100,000, it's going to be the same fucking thing. $50,000 and $100,000 is the same amount of money. Like, what? That's crazy. So anyhow, she's coming out the door making her $100,000 a year. And I make when I wake, and baby, we got to put it together. So that we can live like halfway comfortably. So that we can get some of the benefits out of being an American, right? We can get some of the benefits out of being, you know, a woman who is alone, right? And I mean, like, you know, not having any children, like, you know, she'll be my child, but y'all know what I mean, like, not having any children, not having to support children, not being married, because, you know, if you marry a poor man, it's just gonna make you poorer, and, most of the males are poor. You know what I'm saying? Like niggas for sure. Like silverbacks 100% sure. They gonna be poor. But like the rest of the males not faring any better. You know, like as far as like huge finances and not having to struggle and not having to work. Like that thought of like laying at home and like not working and letting them, you know, having a man like take care of you, or like that thing is dead. And then you have to think like, for me, like, how worthy would a man have to be for me personally to be fucking him and still have to work? I can't do it. Personally, I cannot do it. Personally, for brain, I can't do it. I cannot do it. A man has to come in my life and relieve me. And like, I know that, you know, black women love to say, you know, you can't depend on a man, don't depend on a man, you know, whatever. Like, you listen. I'll set myself up well. In the event I got to go, I'll be going. But for me to be in a relationship with a man doing all of the emotional labor that males need in general, and then be poor, like, or then we both have to go to work, I'm not fucking doing it. I mean that shit. Like, I've decided at 36 years old that if a man is not coming in my life and freeing me up to do the things that I want to do, I'm not fucking dating him at all. Right? I've made that choice in my life already. I'm not doing it. Period. I'm not one of them. I know it's women. You know, it's women who don't mind going 50-50. I know that it's women who have decided that, you know, I'm going to be busting my ass and like have to be a girlfriend or wife. I'm not one of them. Okay? I'm just not one of them. So so that's out, you know. And I like to think that this, you know, if it's not out for my daughter, I like to think that she's not one of them, you know, but, you know, as she first comes out of, school, like, yeah, we probably just going to do this together. So I've been lucky enough that I have birthed my partner, but like really black women, like, what's the plan? I think we gotta be a little bit more concerned. I think that we gotta be a little bit more concerned about politics, and I think that we have to live our lives as Americans because we are American. Duh. like I don't think that we get to opt out of being patriots either. Like, I don't think that we get to live here and hate the country as being indigenous black people. We don't get to go anywhere else. Sis, where the fuck are you gonna go? Like, where are you gonna go? Okay, the Haitians will go right back to Haiti. They are used to eating dirt rocks. They will be okay. I'm not even, like, I'm laughing, but I'm not even, like, making fun. Like, they gonna go back to where they come from. And they gonna be okay. But your ass is not used to fucking cold water. And taking showers in cold water. Your ass is not used to eating fucking dirt rocks. Even if you grew up poor, you got government cheese. Like, you see what I'm saying? So what is your plan as a black woman who don't give a fuck? Baby, I think we need to be giving a fuck. So anyhow, yeah, I came to talk some about that. Like, we might have to be American, y'all. And I've been American. I like being American. I like being a patriot. I love this country. Yeah. I love it. It's my home. I don't got nowhere else to go. And even when people ask me, like, where would you live at if you could live anywhere in the fucking world, where would you live at? Not outside of the United States of America for me. For me, baby, it's a no for me. It's a no for me. And I you know, I'm one of those black women that really love being American. Like, I don't want to live outside of nowhere else. I don't want to live outside of this country at all. I never think about it. That never crosses my mind. Never crosses my mind. Like, fleeing has, even when I was pro-black and it was like the going back to Africa conversations, I used to be like, are y'all dumb? Are y'all crazy? Like, why, what the fuck would possess me to want to go and live in Africa as an American? As an American, are y'all crazy? I'm not doing that. I'm never doing that. So, you know, I think that black women, okay, I think we need to consider being American. Like, we might have to consider being American, okay? And on to the programming, y'all. I think that BWE is programming us to think a certain way. And programming, for me personally, I like to think that I am a woman of free thoughts. You know, there's been times in my life where I may have been influenced by something, it's current or as I'm phasing out of, but it was just now recently BWE and divestment. But as you can see, like, I cycle fast. You know what I'm saying? I cycle fast. I cycle quick, and I don't hold on to shit. Listen, as quickly as I pick something up, as soon as it's some cognitive, as soon as it no longer aligns in my life, I don't have cognitive dissonance that I can't just let it go quick. Like, I let it go real fast. Like, as you can see, you probably been here, like, from the beginning, and you remember me making videos like Divest or Die, and I threw that divestment shit down fast, and I'm throwing down BWE fast. Like, the thinking in the ways that someone wants me to think, I can't do it. I like my own independent free thoughts. And sometimes you need a recalibration. Like, sometimes you have to take some time and get back to center and get back to how you really feel in your own personal thoughts. And I think that it would serve us all to do that. Because I don't even think that our thoughts are our own. Like, I don't think that our thoughts are our own. I don't think that the thoughts that you have about black women currently are your own thoughts. If you've been in these BWE spaces for a long time, if you've been constantly tuning in every week, every other week for black woman hating content, like, I don't think that your thoughts are even your own anymore. Like, what we think about silverbacks, apes, nakers is tried and true, right? Right, that's a tried and true thought. Like, you thought it for a little while, right? You going through your stages of grief. Your grandmother didn't thought it. Like, but this, like, this new thought for black women to, like, be so self-hating and so, like, this new thought for black women to be so self-hating and to be so cruel when it comes to the collective of black women, I don't think that that's a tried and true thought. Like, I don't think that that is something that is original in your own brain. Like, your thoughts about black males, like, you've experienced life in which black males have treated you like shit, and all of your friends and all of your, you know, cousins and your aunts and your grandmother. Like, this is a tried and true thought. But are your thoughts about black women, is that really your thought? Or is it what you've been programmed to be thinking since you've been in this BWE space? Because I had to sit and think for a while on my own thoughts about black women. And, like, even when I thought black women were being cruel to me, even when I thought that black women had treated me wrong, and I'm not minimizing anything that any black woman has done to you personally, but it did not change my thought of the black woman collective being supreme. Like, it never changed that, right? It never changed my thought of the black woman collective being the highest standard of humanity on earth. Like, that never changed, even when I was hurt by black women. Like, the thought of the collective of black women being the same way as the black woman who had harmed me, like, that was never my thought. I shared, like, very early in my videos about a black woman that was snorting dope on Baltimore City subway when I was, like, you know, 15 or 16 years old. And I talked about how she was like literally sitting next to me snorting dope, and I was amazed. You know, I was just like, I can't believe she's snorting dope or coke. It had to be dope because Baltimore got a dope problem. So I just watched her because I couldn't take my eyes off of her because she's snorting dope, and like in a moment's time, if only for a moment, she looked me right in my face and told me, "Don't get on drugs." As she's sitting there doing drugs. As she's literally sitting there doing drugs. Like, she's telling me not to get on drugs. And it's been experiences like these that I have decided, like, even when I'm seeing black women at their lowest. You can't get no lower than sitting on the fucking subway, waiting for the subway, snorting dope next to a black woman, a black woman that's younger than you and her little baby. A black girl, because I was 15, 17, I was in high school, right? But my daughter was born, so anyhow, a black girl, and letting that divinity shine through where you're like, do not do this to yourself, baby. Right? And it's been times in my life, time and time again in my life where that has happened. So much so that I've decided that is who black women is. That is who black women is. Right? Not the black women who have harmed me, right? Not the black women who have hurt me, not the black women who have, been cruel to me, right? That, in that moment, that is who black women are, and those are the kind of black women that I attract, right? Those are the kind of black women who would want to be in my space as a black woman. So I'm protected in general by not attracting those black women, especially now. Like, black women who want to hurt me, black women who want to harm me, they cannot keep their mask on long right now. Like, now in my life, like, they can't keep their mask on long. Like, eventually the mask falls. Like, when I was younger and I've had friends that may have been harmful to me, like, it took years to know. But now, like, the mask falls off quite early. Quite early. Black women who want to do me some harm, like, it's quite early in which that mask fall off, because those kind of black women just can't be around me now. They can't fucking take me. They can't fucking take me. My existence now is just a natural repellent, right? So in living life like this in this moment, I feel fiercely protected. Right? Though the harshness of those women is quick and brutal. Right? Quick and brutal. Like, it don't last long. I mentioned how I was in a private space with black women, invited to a private space. Shit. I didn't even know these women existed, right? Invited to a private space with black women. There was one there that was so fucking venomous that it did not last long for she just bust out, prima snake. Like, bitch, I never did no snaky shit in my life. What the fuck is you talking about? Right? But what I'm saying is, like, they can't hold up that mask long anymore. Like, before I'm even able to fall in love with them, they already show themselves quick. So the brokenheartedness that I would have felt, I don't even feel it that intently now, that deeply now, because they don't even get that close to me to really cause me no harm. And I've said all that to say that this is my experience and this is the lens in which I see black women. And that's my own personal lens. So I don't want to be soiled or dirtied up by other people's lenses of black women, because that's not my experience. And when it was dirty black women, when it was foul black women, when it was fucked up black women, they weren't my kind of women. Like, they weren't the kind of women that I wanted to be around. They weren't the kind of women who wanted to be around me. So, why do I have to hate all black women when I'm already protected in my own personal self, first of all? And then second of all, knowing that a lot of black women are asleep. Are like, sleep. Like, they have no idea. Their minds are not even privy to what the fuck is going on. So when I see a black woman who is out living her life, like, why do I have to be hateful towards her? I guess all to reiterate the same thing that I said last week. But what I wanted to specifically say was, like, if you feel yourself becoming that way and you are not that way, like if you a hateful black woman and you hate black women and you hate yourself, you look in the mirror, you hate your black ass self, you hate your black ass self, okay? You hate all the black women that's reflecting you, you hate them too. Like, if that's who you are, then that's who you are. But if that's not who you are, when I look inside the mirror, I love my black ass self, right? It dawned on me looking at my daughter, oh my goodness, this is how the Supreme looks, right? So when I look at black women, it's not anything ever hateful. Like, my thoughts in seeing black women, because the first black woman I look at when I wake up and go brush my teeth, right? The first black woman that I look at, I don't have no hate for her. That's the level I live on, right? Right? That's where I exist. That's my natural calibration when it comes to black women. If that's your natural calibration when it comes to black women, you might want to check yourself if that's not how you're always showing up. If as soon as you see a black woman, if your first thought is something negative, then you may need to recalibrate. These thoughts are not even your own. And you need to get back to your own thoughts. And that's really all I got, you know. I don't be having too much, you know. I'm kind of, you know, trying to figure out my footing on YouTube again, because I don't really fit in with BWE. I don't really fit in with BWE, you know. I remember when I started, like, not dealing with niggas, and I used to just tell them, like, we're not on the same level. And I used to, like, take it, like, I used to be listening to Meek Mills, though. I used to be listening to Meek Mill's Levels, okay? You know, we don't fuck the same hoes, we don't rock the same hoes, and we don't rock the same clothes, to the levels to the shit. You know, like, that song, like, I used to be listening to that a lot, you know? And, I'm getting to the place of, in that place with BWE, too. Like, we're not on the same level. Right? Like, me and most BWE content creators, we're not on the same level. And I mean, if it makes them feel better to think that, oh, it's because they're more, you know, enlightened than I am. If they can look at black women, common black women walking down the street, and you hate them, and you think that that's like, that means you beyond me, by all means, sis. The point is, I'm trying to make is that we're not on the same level. And there's levels to this shit. And being in, you know, BWE spaces, I'm realizing, like, baby, we not the same. Okay? We is not the same. And that's okay. And I'm gonna leave BWE as I left it. I mean, as I found it. Fucked up. I'm gonna leave BWE as I found it. Fucked up and hateful as fuck. Okay? I just gotta take a step out. I can't be here. It's not really for me. So as I, you know, figure out what I want to do, you know, I guess I'll come in and check in every now and again, you know, just to, you know, share my thoughts. But most of this shit is really about me. You know, you can use it in your own life, but most of the shit is really about me and my own recalibration and me getting back to who I am, getting back to, you know, my own thoughts and my own feelings, and not being hateful and cruel to black women, because that's not who I am, and that's never been who I am. So anyhow, to those black women who are like me and that's not who you are, sis, check yourself. I had to check myself. Have I been cruel in the past to black women that I should not have been? Yes. Have I judged black women too harshly? Yes. And first I have to forgive myself for it, and then after that I'll seek forgiveness from those black women. But you know, I'm working on forgiving myself for it. It's just not It's not who I am. It's never been who I am, and it's not, and it's definitely not who I want to be. A black woman who hates black women is unsafe for black women and girls, and I have a lot of black women and girls in my care, and I don't want to be unsafe for them. So anyhow, love you ladies. I'm gone.